Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome back to the Televised Podcast. My name is Anna, and today we're going to be talking about the 6B Supergirl trailer that was just released, and by just released, I mean, like, 3 hours ago when I'm recording this. I really want to talk about this trailer because it came as a surprise today for me, and I think for so many other Supergirl fans, just because we're still about a month out from the final season, final premiere date, and for the second half of the final season. And I really wasn't expecting a trailer today. I just was not. But they basically, it's about a month to the day until we get new Supergirl episodes. So I guess they decided to just release the trailer today, and I'm really glad they did. It felt like a really fresh breath of air, especially in the fandom, seeing as we've not had a lot of content as of late, and there's really not been a lot of information coming out about the last season, just kind of like miscellaneous set pictures and things like that, but now we finally kind of have something to go off of what we can expect for these last 13 episodes of Supergirl, and from the looks of it, it looks great. And so the trailer's only about a minute long. And I wanted to kind of like go through it, break down what is happening in like every single frame, because so much happens in this trailer in just, the minute that this trailer runs for. And so I want to just kind of like talk about the things that we're seeing, what we can expect potentially from those scenes or from those lines, or what kind of storylines we can expect to see going forward on the show. And just kind of like throw out some theories and just talk about the trailer because I'm just really excited about it. And this, it feels really exciting to have this like one last trailer, for Supergirl. So I'm really excited about it, especially because, we didn't have a Comic-Con this year. So it really, around this time is normally when we would have gotten those sizzle reels and like pre-trailers for previous seasons of Supergirl after a weekend at Comic-Con, which is what would have happened it did happen this past weekend, but Supergirl was not represented there. It was another Comic-Con at home, so it was just people zooming in. I don't think we really missed a whole lot, but because Supergirl they're still busy filming for the final episodes. Most of the CW shows themselves have actually finished filming, gone on vacation, and then now are back filming for their upcoming season. But Supergirl has yet to finish filming. They've been filming for a long time, but I think they've only got like 10 days left, something like that, something in that ballpark. Pretty soon, it's coming to a close, but it's really nice to know that despite, the filming coming to a close very soon, that we still have, the majority of this season left to see. So I'm really excited. And from the looks of this trailer, it looks really good. So let's get into it. So Kara starts out the trailer actually with, they start out with some clips from the Phantom Zone, the scream, from one of the first episodes of season 6. And she says, "It was so cold in the Phantom Zone, every breath felt like ice." And she's talking to Alex on the couch in her apartment, and Alex tells her, "We'll get through this together." And then Kara says, "What if that fear never goes away?" And I love that we are finally getting Kara to talk about her trauma and her feelings, which is something that has been a bit more low-key in the past, in the past couple of seasons. Obviously, in season 1, we saw a lot of that with Kara's anger and her emotions. And then also in season 3, at the beginning, we saw a lot of that as well with her anger about Mon-El having to leave, but really it was kind of more about her abandonment issues in general, just kind of like set off by the fact that Mon-El was yet another person that left her. No matter how we feel about Carmel, that was definitely something that was triggered by him leaving, was her kind of abandonment issues. And so obviously after this like stint in the Phantom Zone, you would hope that they would dive into how that makes Kara feel, especially because she spent so much of her life, even though she didn't age a day, she spent a lot of her life, probably about like half of her life in the Phantom Zone. And that's crazy, like for her to kind of be able to continue to like live after watching the explosion of her planet and then being stuck in stasis in the Phantom Zone in a pod for over 20 years, just stuck in there. Like, that's crazy. And then for them to send her back just is like, oh my god. So I'm really happy that they're allowing her to talk about these emotions, and we're actually going to see them talked about on screen, and we're going to see how Kara deals with the Phantom Zone and the aftermath, especially after watching her be such a trooper while she was stuck in the Phantom Zone, because we saw, and like I talked about in my other season 6 episodes, where Kara really didn't have, ever since she landed in the Phantom Zone, it's always been about finding a way out. She's never had a minute to like truly reflect on her time in the Phantom Zone, or to think about the consequences of her being there, or to really think about the trauma that she's endured and that she's now enduring again while in the Phantom Zone. And so now that she's back home on Earth, there's so much, she's got so much time to like have nightmares about the Phantom Zone and talk about it with Alex and hopefully with people like Lena and Brainy and Kelly and Nia and Jean. And she has a support system now that she didn't have the last time that she got out of the Phantom Zone. And that's something that I think is really poetic, honestly, about this storyline. I know that a lot of people did not like that she was written off in this way, I mean, like I've said it before, I'll say it again. I thought that they did it in a really good way because of the circumstances that they had to work with, because of Melissa's personal, her personal life that she had to deal with. But for me, I think that they did it really well, and it kind of is just like a really poetic full circle moment for Kara, where the last time that she got out of the Phantom Zone, she was greeted on Earth by her cousin, who she was meant to take care of, who was a baby the last time that she saw him, was greeted by him, a grown man, and found out that she was stuck in stasis for, like 20 years. And then she didn't even get to live with him. He pawned her off to the Danvers, and and then she had to deal with becoming trying to be a human and trying to fit in with this family, and dealing with Alex and the animosity that Alex felt towards her, and the jealousy and the hatred really that Alex felt for Kara in the beginning, while also dealing with the fact that her planet blew up and her family's not alive and all of this stuff. And so that's what she was dealing with in the beginning of her story, of her life. And now she was sent to the Phantom Zone again, and this time she comes back and she's got an entire family waiting for her, an entire support system that came and rescued her and will take her in, and will, they're not going to leave her with somebody. They're not going to leave her on somebody's stoop the way that Clark did to her the first time. And I love that. I just think it's a really, really wonderful full circle moment for Kara. And we actually, assuming what I am going to assume about the season, we'll have another full circle moment for Kara also this season, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. Then we see a big giant rock guy. I'm going to talk more about him in a bit, because there's more scenes of this big rock guy. And I kind of have some theories about who's controlling him or where he comes from or whatever. So I've got theories about that for later. Then we have a scene of Brainy saying to Kara, "I'll be beside you every step of the way." And for me, honestly, it's such a great moment. And I'm so excited to see this fully play out on screen, because his heartbreak over Kara in 6A was so raw and emotional. And like with episode 3, like Jesse put out his, like, the best performance of his entire time on Supergirl over his anguish of, Kara not being around, and him thinking that he's unable to save her, and that it's his fault or his responsibility, and that he has failed, and that he wishes that he could have done something more. And that emotion and raw, like loyalty to Kara and the admiration that he feels towards Kara. I'm really excited to see that come through once he's finally able to talk to her again after just, how torn up he was about her disappearance in the Phantom Zone. And I don't know, I'm really excited about seeing that scene just because I love their friendship and I love how much Brainy admires Kara and really respects her as a hero and also as a person, as Supergirl and as Kara Zor-El or Kara Danvers or whoever, he really respects her as both a hero and a friend, and I'm really excited to see whatever kind of emotional conversation they're going to be able to have together. So then we cut to some imagery of the ocean on fire, and there's like a pelican that has to like fly away, and Zor-El says, "Your oceans are dying," and he talks about how Earth is on the same path Krypton was before it was destroyed, and that something has to change or else they'll meet the same fate. And I mean, honestly, Zor-El, he sounds extremely hypocritical because, hello, buddy, you were like the reason that Krypton exploded in the first place. But considering, considering his role in that, it's definitely funny. But I do love the tie-in to season 1 with the whole, like, the Earth will suffer the same fate as Krypton angle that both Astra and Non had during that season. Because if you'll remember, the whole entire reason that they created Myriad was so that they could essentially like depopulate the planet so that they could quote unquote save Earth and save humanity, and then turn it into new Krypton. Obviously not a great way to go about preventing another planet from exploding, but I think it's really cool to like kind of tie that in and thinking about if this is really where the storyline is going, thinking about Kara being able to save Earth without sacrificing humanity the way her aunt and uncle wanted to, and kind of fully coming full circle with that storyline of Kara truly being the savior of Earth and saving the planet from the same fate that Krypton had. Because really, especially if you think about it, I mean, yeah, they stopped Astra and Non and the other Brainiac. They stopped all of those people from enslaving humanity and like, turning the Earth into new Krypton, but they didn't really address any of the issues that Astra and Non were really bringing up about, climate change or all of those things that people are ruining the Earth with, and we're on a straight path down, And I think it's really, it's kind of cool to take that story that you talked about in the first season, and then here we are 5 years later, where arguably the world is in an even worse place than it was then, to double back on that and be like, hey, we need to do something to fix the world because, this is messed up, and it's going to be like Krypton all over again. And we have to solve it this time. We can't just stop some bad guy from solving it in the wrong way. We have to actually solve it. And I really like that. I me, season 1 is, the pinnacle to me of Supergirl. It's one of my favorite seasons. Season 1 and season 4 are up there with my favorites. Season 6 is honestly pretty high up there as well, just because I really am enjoying it so far. But that said, season 1 is like everything to me, and so I love that they have this tie-in, this connection, and honestly, in multiple ways, connecting the beginning of Kara's story to the end of her story is just really poetic, and I think it's going to be really wonderful if this is how it's truly going to play out, that I'm really excited to see. So then we hear, it sounds like Lena saying, "You've unleashed a force of hell on Earth," and then we kind of see more footage of like the rock monster and stuff like that, and I'm thinking like maybe the rock monster is like of Lex and Lillian's doing, I'm not really sure. And then Nixley shows up, and obviously Kara's surprised, but the audience all saw her catch that ride out of the Phantom Zone at the end of the last episode before the hiatus. And then, so we also see this like satellite, and I'm thinking, again, it's kind of probably connected to that Lex Lillian rock monster storyline going on. And then Jean says to Nyxly, "You're safe now," and she says, "None of us are safe." And it's a big question for me of like, is she playing the Super Friends? Because obviously, you know, Kara knows her true colors because of what she saw in the Phantom Zone. You know, when Kara was like, you know, willing to leave her to get blown up. And that's what she thought happened to her. She thought that she fully got blown up, you know? And it's just really interesting to me that it seems like Jean is going to be trying to like help her, because they kind of set her up as this kind of antagonistic force with the whole, you know, I'm going to have fun on Earth while I'm there, you know, I'm going to take out my anger on Earth. What are you going to do about it, kind of thing. And I just wonder if maybe she will make herself an ally, maybe only to betray them, or maybe she has to begrudgingly help them, especially once Mxyzptlk comes back in later in the season. He's confirmed to be back. And obviously they know each other because, you know, we found that out early in season 6 that they know each other. So I wonder if maybe, you know, she will have to kind of begrudgingly be an ally to the Super Friends in order to fight whatever they're fighting. So, you know, the rock monster. So then we also see a shot of Kara and Jean fighting said rock monster. And Kara's in Lena's anti-kryptonite suit and is being hurt by kryptonite because they did a shot of her in the suit and you could see the veins, you know, the green veins creeping up the side of her face. I love when they do that. I think it looks so cool. Obviously, I hate to see Kara in pain, but I think I've talked about this before about how I think the green kryptonite veins are just really cool, but obviously, again, hate to see Kara in pain. But honestly, the inclusion of kryptonite makes me think even more that this monster is, like, connected to Lex somehow. I mean, who else would infuse this, like, big rock monster with kryptonite? It has to be Lex, right? I mean, you know, and it was confirmed that later in the season, Lex would come back in and have this stronger villain role, of course. And so I think that that's probably what's going to be happening with him is something to do with this giant rock monster and Lillian, because she was seen on set recently, so she's going to be in the finale. That's going to be really exciting to have Brenda back, because I think she's wonderful. She's wonderfully evil as Lillian. So then, in the trailer, we have a shot of Alex giving Kelly a pep talk, and she says, quote, "It's only when we take risks that we can find out who we're meant to be." And I love how encouraging these two are of each other, and I'm so excited to see, like, the aftermath of Kelly. You know, she had this storyline in the beginning of season 6 where she felt completely helpless, you know, in helping Magan and Alex and Jean and everybody, like, handle the phantoms. You know, she felt completely helpless. She got hurt. And then in the dream sequence, or in the phantom dream, she was able to, you know, take that makeshift shield off the wall, and we got that glimpse of who she could be as Guardian. And so I'm just really excited to see how her storyline translates from that doubtful, you know, useless feeling place, even though obviously she was not useless, because she truly did help the Super Friends in mental ways, you know, in ways that she couldn't just punch her way out of, you know, in ways that were really, really admirable and important. But, you know, she had that feeling of being not helpful, not useful, not heroic enough. And so I'm really excited to see how she transitions from that mindset into picking up the Guardian shield and the helmet and everything, and becoming her own hero and her own version of Guardian. And especially how Alex fits into that, and how they can continue to just be each other's number one fan and number one supporters. And then we get a shot after this, speaking of Guardian, we get a shot of the helmet, the silver Guardian helmet. Not Kelly's gold one yet, but the silver one. So they haven't fully revealed the gold helmet yet, which I'm so glad, because I was so nervous that in the trailer we would just get a full shot of Kelly, you know, as the Golden Guardian. And I really want that to not be a trailer moment, or at least not a season trailer moment. Make it be like, you know, the week before trailer moment, the episode trailer moment, or just save the reveal for the episode. That's what I would prefer, just because I'm so excited to see how it looks on screen. Obviously, we've all seen it because they released not only the poster, but there has also been obviously a lot of set pictures, and Ozzy herself has posted pictures of herself in the suit, so we've seen it already, but we've not seen it like in action on screen yet, and I can't wait for that. And it seems like the helmet, the Silver Guardian helmet, is sitting between Kelly and someone else, probably Alex, encouraging her to become a hero. Then we get, and this is the moment where I lost my goddamn mind, then we get a Supercorp hug where Lena is crying and hugging Kara so tight. She's literally crying, like she's crying. We don't see Kara's face, but she's in the Supergirl suit, and so, you know that it's Kara and Lena. It's like 3 frames. You have to, it's like 3 or 4 frames long, and Lena is crying and hugging Kara. And it clearly takes place in the tower with Nia looking on in the background and smiling. And I can't help but wonder if this is from when Kara gets back from the Phantom Zone, or if it's before she goes off for like a big mission to save the world, or if it's after she was like, you know, going off to make a big sacrifice. I'm not sure. Nia's casual clothes in the background make me think it's during Kara's welcome back party, but obviously, you know, we'll see. I've seen people point out as well that Lena is not in the same shirt that was seen in the behind the scenes pictures from the filming of Kara's welcome home party. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll see exactly when this hug shows up, but I'm so excited, and this is really one of the only truly kind of like intimate moments in the entire trailer. I mean, obviously we got a Danvers sisters hug, which is, you know, obviously the backbone of the show, but for them to include this Supercorp hug as this like one of the pinnacle emotional moments in the trailer, that's really awesome, and I'm so excited to see what that means or where it goes or what. And I think if they put this in the trailer, it really just must be like the tip of the iceberg for Supercorp interactions, because I'm sure they really wouldn't want to spoil anything major like that if it wasn't really the only one, unless they're really trying to bait us here. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to keep it positive for right now. So I'm going to believe that it's one of many. And really, if anything, that there's a kiss as well. And obviously, they wouldn't spoil that in a trailer, but I feel like they'd feel safe putting a hug in the trailer. So then we see this guy with these alien energy powers. It's like yellow, orange kind of thing. And then they seem kind of similar to Dreamer's dream energy almost, but I'm not really sure. And then Kara and Jean get knocked around by this guy. Then we see Nia and her mom, and I'm so excited to see this interaction. Because, you know, obviously the beginning of this season was so building up to, you know, Nia finally like getting a handle on her powers, but also kind of feeling helpless about them, not really knowing, you know, how to fully control them, not knowing the true extent, and always just like wishing and hoping that she had her mom around to, you know, teach her how to use her powers and to take her to that next level. And obviously her mom, you know, is dead and gone, and she tried to reach out during the Midvale episodes, but Brainy obviously was, I mean, she didn't answer, but then she didn't even try again because Brainy was like, hello, you don't need to mess with the timeline. But I'm really excited to see this, and I hope that, you know, it'll be kind of like a building up to and kind of a resolution for Nia's insecurities of her powers, because I don't think she deserves to end the show still feeling insecure in her abilities and still not truly knowing exactly how to work her powers. So I think that this is going to be kind of like that really grand resolution. Hopefully I would assume that it's her being able to access her mother through whatever, her dream energy and her dream powers. And I'm really excited to see that, because if so, that's such a powerful thing. And it makes me think of like kind of like the commanders from the 100, where they all like lived in Lex's brain, but that was because of the chip, anyway. But like where they're all connected, and kind of like the Brainiacs, where they're all connected and Brainy can communicate with the other ones. And I think that Nia will kind of be able to do that with her dream energy in connecting with her mother, which I'm really excited about. So then we see the satellite again with a Brainy voiceover saying it's a cryonuclear bomb. And listen, I am no science queen, but I did look up what cryogenics was, because I don't like science, but apparently it has to do with temperature and specifically with freezing or boiling of liquid. And I'm going to guess that maybe Lex is trying to kick the Earth's temperature into maybe even a higher or lower scale in order to either like speed up the destruction of Earth or to cause maybe another ice age or something like that. That's what I imagine could possibly be happening with that, because I can't imagine another use for it, and I assume that it's just all going to tie into this like climate change storyline that we're talking about, with a villain specifically trying to affect the climate with this cryonuclear bomb. So then we see Kara busting into a lab, it looks like, and she says, we need to get everyone out of here. And then we see, as the ocean kind of continues to burn, and we see Kara in front of some kind of like laser, like power source thing, very similar. It like the circular light in the middle, kind of reminds me of like the Fort Ross thing during season 1 when Kara thought she was going to have to sacrifice herself to shut it down. And she says, I have to destroy the bomb. And then Jean says, this whole place could explode. And I really just do love how much this trailer has shown Kara and Jean working together. Just because it is so... I love that duo so much. And I am so glad that they, get their time together. Just because, we're not sure if we'll ever see these characters again. So I'm just glad that there's all kinds of different interactions that are happening in this final season. Then we see a brief shot of Alex as Sentinel as the Earth shakes and she tries to help some people, and then Kara continues with her, fear of this like bomb thing that she's standing in front of and says it'll explode if I do nothing. So then we see the Super Friends get fully knocked down like bowling pins by lightning power from the giant rock guy. And, okay, listen here. This is where I'm going to connect it all. I've connected the dots. So as we see the giant rock guy uses lightning powers. And I honestly think that maybe this is the return of whoever was truly in charge of Leviathan, especially because the powers and means to control Earth and like lightning and the weather and rocks and stuff like that, are so similar to Ramakan and the other villains from season 5. And I think that Lex is probably still working with them. And honestly, I think that would make up for how underwhelming the conclusion to the Leviathan storyline was. It would truly make up for it if they were continuing to be the big bad of this season, working with Lex and trying to punish humans for destroying the Earth in the way that they did, and stepping in to just take them all out, I mean, that's kind of what I assume is going on and what's going to happen. And then obviously Kara and the Super Friends and Zor-El and Nixley and Mixie, they all have to come together to try to save the world and try to save humanity and save them from the fate of Krypton. And so I think that that's a really cool storyline, if that's really what's going on, because we really don't know much. But I think from, the pieces that I've put together from the trailer, I think that's what's going on. And I'm really excited to see it if that's what's really happening. And I hope it'll be, just like a really, I think that they can make it a poignant storyline. You know what I mean? And then that's the end of the trailer. Supergirl returns August 24th on Tuesdays to finish out the rest of their final season with 13 episodes remaining. And really quick before I kind of wrap everything up, I do want to talk about some episode titles that got released. 608, as we know, is called Welcome Back, Kara. Obviously, it's about welcoming back Kara. And then 609 is called Dreamweaver. And I think that is clearly going to be the episode that we see Nia's mom in, and probably going to be like a really Nia-centric episode, like focusing on her finally gaining control of her powers because she's weaving her dreams, Dreamweaver. Then 610 is called Still I Rise, and that's, I don't know, maybe, I'm kind of debating. I'm thinking that maybe this is kind of the beginning of Kelly stepping into that Guardian role. Obviously, episode titles apply to more than one storyline in these, in Supergirl. But I think one storyline that could tie into Still I Rise could be Kelly's ascent into Guardian, in the silver suit specifically. And then 611 is called Mixie in the Middle. Obviously, it's going to have Mxyzptlk in it. I'm really excited to see what he brings back to the show, because the last time we saw him, he did everybody in the Supercorp fam a huge favor by showing Kara all of the realities and making the 100th episode extremely Supercorp focused. So I'm excited to see exactly how he comes in and shakes things up, especially when it comes to Kara and Lena and their dynamic. Maybe he'll make some kind of offhand comment. I don't know. We'll see what he does. And then obviously we have 612 called Blind Spots, co-written by Ozzy, and that will clearly be the episode where Kelly fully suits up as Guardian and as the Golden Guardian specifically. And I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited, man. That trailer just if you've listened to my other season 6 episodes, you know that I've been generally very excited about season 6 throughout the entire airing, because it's been, in my opinion, pretty damn good. I've really enjoyed it. I think it's highlighted, it's focused on the characters and the things that we all have really wanted to see. And I am really glad. I'm just really happy that they're not kind of biffing their last season. And I'm really excited to see the rest of it. I think it's going to be really, really great. And I think it's going to be enjoyable to watch live. And I'm so excited to cover the episodes again with you all. And I don't know, Supercorp endgame, guys. Obviously I don't know shit, but I don't know, I can see it, I can feel it, everyone. But I wanted to make it quick and snappy, little trailer breakdown, because I thought that the trailer just had so much in it, and I kind of wanted to put out this speculation episode, because it's always kind of fun to put out these speculation of episodes and then come back at the end of the season or a couple episodes in or whatever and see if I was right, see if I was wrong, see what I missed, see what I didn't, which I kind of did at the beginning of season 6. And then actually some people went back and commented on those videos and were like, haha, watching this now and you were totally right about that, or you totally missed the mark on that one. And it's yeah, it happens. But I'm really excited though to see this last couple of episodes of Supergirl. I'm glad that the season, the way it was split, I'm glad that there's more episodes on the back half left, because it would have felt sad if we only had 6 episodes left and that was it. But we've got 13 episodes and lots of content left to come from Supergirl, and I'm just so excited to see it, and I hope that you all are too. Let me know what your favorite moment from the trailer was, what you're most excited to see, what your theories are from what we saw in the trailers. Do you think do you think that I'm even close on the Lex Luthor, Rock Guy, Lillian, Leviathan thing? Do you think that they put Leviathan to bed, or do you think it's coming back? I don't know. And also, really quick though, I wanted to mention some people were noticeably absent from this trailer, which made me really happy. Yeah, so that was really great. Really wonderful. So yeah, I'm really excited to see it, and I mean, like I said, I think I'm feeling good about Supercorp, guys. I'm feeling really good, especially because, and I've talked about this before in my episode about episode 3, about how Lena, how they've kind of set up her storylines so that she is the best version of herself by the time Kara gets back, so that she can be ready to be in a relationship with Kara, and that they just have to work on Kara, you know, when she gets back. So I don't know, I'm really excited to see if that's actually what ends up happening. And then obviously there's lots of rumors flying around about Danson wedding and about Danson adopting a child. There's been a casting for that, but no one knows specifically, or it's not really confirmed, but as of like set pictures and, you know, this little child actress who has been posting, not about Supergirl, but about, you know, her job that she's on. I think it's really happening, and I'm so excited to see it because obviously, you know, Alex has wanted a child since season 3, and you know, it didn't work out with Maggie. It did not work out. But obviously, you know, Kelly and Alex really started their like child journey together before they were even together, before they were a couple, you know. Kelly was there with Alex when Alex thought she was going to become a mom. And I'm really excited to see them do it together and become this family that both Alex and Kelly truly deserve. And I am so excited for them. And I'm really excited for this wedding because I think, you know, we all knew that Alex and Kelly were going to get married before the end of the season, but I'm really excited to see it. And I hope that, well, you know what? I know that in true Arrowverse fashion, somebody is going to interrupt their wedding. Some villain is going to interrupt their wedding. And we're just going to have to deal with it. And then they're going to have another little ceremony because that's what always happens. Because that's what's going to happen with Ava and Sarah. That's what happened with Oliver. Well, no. That's what happened with Barry and Iris. And then Oliver and Felicity jumped in on their wedding. And then they got to renew their vows. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I'm just really excited to see how the rest of this season goes. Let me know what you thought of this trailer. What your theories are. What your thoughts are. That's all I have for today, guys. And you know, don't forget to rate, share, like, subscribe, do all the things. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.